And moving ahead, stakeholders in the Nigerian energy sector believe that until the country gets an energy generating system to the optimum, the challenges in distribution and transmission will continue to be a major challenge to the growth of business and the ease of doing business in the country. Speakers at the annual business meeting of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Ikeja chapter, on the theme Dynamism in the Power Sector, Opportunities and Challenges, said the Nigerian government needs to sustain the adoption and adaptation of other systems that will complement the hydro system of energy generation. The Chief Executive of EcoDisco, Engineer Adoye Fadeyibi, explained that the advocacy for local councils to start their independent power project, IPP, will not make any meaningful impact if the power to distribute and funding the wheels are not there, while the National Vice President of NSE, Engineer Tasiu Saad, maintains that the policy has been on, but the implementation of the policy is weak.
You have available supply for the customer, and not just an IPP for generating, ensuring that your cost versus your revenue, which is really the tariff at the end of the day, is good enough to ensure the returns on investments from these investors that are going to go ahead and put the IPPs together, so that we can ensure we have sustainable solutions. So, an IPP, whether or not I welcome it, the answer is yes, under the right circumstances. The IPP needs to ensure that it's ready on the long term to satisfy the customers.
You can do what is called the embedded generation. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has issued a regulation on embedded generation. You can generate and distribute on the distribution level locally. Then there is also another regulation which is called Independent Electricity Distribution Network. There is mini grid regulation. All these regulations are there meant to break these barriers. So people need to get abreast with these regulations, and the opportunities are there.
And meanwhile, as a measure to boost energy generation in the country, the chairman, NSE Ikeja chapter, Engineer Funmi Akingbagbo, and the former executive director, Small and Medium Enterprises Bank of Industry, Will Olagunju, said going to renewable energy through solar, waste and other source of generation should be encouraged.
Engineers have been able to take case studies of local governments and communities to be able to see the kind of generations that we can have in each of the communities that we have around. There are some areas wherein we are going to be needing like the wind energy to power to create power for them. There are some areas wherein waste will be used to create power for them. There are some areas wherein you need the wind energy to be able to do that. You need a turbine to be able to do that. Then the areas wherein we have water, we'll be able to use the dam to be able to do that. So we are trying to identify each of the areas wherein we need all those things. And also one of the areas we are looking at today is also in order to maintain a green environment, what do we need to do to have renewable energy and to have e-waste in energy?
If we get power right, if we're able to deliver up to 20, 30, 50,000 megawatts to Nigerian consumers, then we'll have sufficient power to drive industry. And by so doing, our GDP will assume double-digit growth, which is what we need to banish poverty from this country.